Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a quick update on my 50 for 2023 project. It's been a little while since I did one of these, but the basic idea, I sat down at the end of last year, made a list of 50 single cards that I wanted to try to chase in the hobby in 2023, and I'm documenting how I do throughout the year. Today's episode, I have two baseball cards, both vintage, and they're going to bring us to the halfway point in the project. These are cards 24 and 25 on the list. Now, I'm not going to end up with all 50 cards, but at least we hit the halfway point anyway here in September. And the last card that we saw in the episode where I left off was the Ozzie Smith rookie that you see pictured here on the left. And card number 24, following that, is also a 1970s Hall of Famer. It's the 1976 Topps Hank Aaron, Hammer and Hank. His final Topps base card or Topps card, playing era card with the Brewers. Love the return to Milwaukee to close out his career. Just a really cool shot there of an older Hank in the twilight there. Just love it. This is not a difficult card to obtain, but I've never owned a nice graded copy like this for my collection at all over the years. This is a first for me, and I don't know why that is. It's as I said, not difficult, but for me, I'm really happy with this copy that I found. Put it on my list because I've been putting a little bit more focus. Although I've largely gotten out of player runs, I have so much of the Hank Aaron run that I almost feel compelled to just finish it off at this point. And so getting his last card was essential for that. And really happy that I found one, as I try to do, that was, low to mid grade, but well centered and with good eye appeal. So this is a 4. I'm sure a lot of people probably wouldn't pay money for a grade of a 4 from 1976 Topps. But, that grade kept this to well under $50, which is great because I have 49 other cards on this list that I'm trying to track down throughout the year. So if I can get a big name like this on a well-centered card that looks really, really visually nice for that price, then I'm more than happy to do it. Some of the cards on the list that are remaining, I definitely won't be able to get for under 50, so happy to scoop this Hank. Back is nice and clean as well. He gets number 550 on the checklist. And yeah, not too much else to say about this. Just one of my favorite players of all time, and I know many people share that opinion. And kind of cool to get his final Topps card at last. So that's card 24 out of 50, the list of 50. And the other card we have for today, as I said, also vintage baseball. And it's the reason we have that Bob Feller out in the background. I've been gravitating a little bit more this year towards 1951 Bowman. And I always loved those early 50 Bowman sets growing up, 50s Bowman sets, I should say. Really 1950 through 52, those 3 years were really my favorites. But I always kind of focused on 50 and 52 because those were the sets that I had a couple cards from, just common players as a kid. And over the years, for some reason, I kind of neglected 51 to some extent. So I've been trying to make up for lost time on that front. And I had this card on the list of 50 all year. And unlike the Hank Aaron, the reason this one took me so long is because it was absolutely brutal finding a copy that was well-centered, but not crazy expensive, $500 or more. Finally ended up with one. So without further ado, I've been chatting enough here. The 1951 Bowman Duke Snider gets added to the collection. It's a little bit light in here, so apologize for that background glare that you can see. But man, as I say every time I show one of these, and really everybody says the same thing, these are gorgeous little works of art. I mean, look at everything going on in this painting. You've got fans behind Duke. This guy looks like maybe an umpire about to come out. Not really sure. Strange man in a tie and suit jacket back there. But look at that classic swing. The dark green of the stadium behind him and the contrast between that dark green and the lighter color Dodgers jersey there. I just love this card. The horizontal layout is perfect, and I have desired one of these for a long time. But most of them, I would say the majority of them, are very, very off-centered. And so found this one, obviously, as far as pros that this has going for it, sharp colors and great centering. Cons, corners and surface. These corners are beat. You can see more so even than the corners on a lot of my other 51s that I do have. This is just a half grade below this Bob Feller, for example, but I think this Bob Feller has, while rounded, much nicer corners, whereas these are kind of bunted. But I don't care. To me, it's the eye test, holding this at arm's length or just a few inches away. It's a gorgeous card. The other thing that got this card a 2, there is a surface mark a little bit here to the left of Duke on the bottom of the card, and then there's one little mark here on the backstop. But that really doesn't detract much, in my opinion. And again, just happy to bring this one home. Copy that's well centered to match my other 51 Bowmans, but at a low grade, which kept it affordable. I was prepared to pay up for this because, centered copies just don't show up all that often, but it was one of those where I won it for well below what my snipe was set for. It was a very pleasant surprise, and if I recall, it was around $80 to add this card to the collection. So I thought I would have to spend more to get this one crossed off the list, but really pleased with that. I think the first cards I unveiled in this project all the way back in January were actually from the 51 Bowman release. And so there is my latest 51 Bowman and my latest addition to the 50 for 2023 project. Let's take a quick look at the back as well, just so you can see that it's in good shape. No wax staining even, probably one of the cleaner backs in my 51 Bowman collection. So 25 cards in on the 50 for 2023 project, 25 to go, although we certainly won't get all the way there, as I mentioned, but just those 2 for today. I want to keep this as one of my shortest videos in some time. Definitely appreciate your time and support. Hope you enjoyed these great vintage baseball cards, and I'll be back in the very near future with some more 50 for 2023 content and just general sports card content. Until then, I hope you're enjoying the hobby, and take care.